So our theme today is pieces of a puzzle. And like the pieces of a puzzle, there's really no finished product until all those pieces come together. And our finished product is really quality of life for all of you, for our community, for every person in our community. And I think that's important. When you listen and you hear about all these pieces coming together and these partnerships that we're doing, it all falls into quality of life. And today we're going to focus on some of those pieces that make up the city and make up our community. But first, let's talk about money. Let's talk about our finances. We have a balanced budget for 16-17. We balance our operating budget and we project going forward for the next 5 years, a balanced budget going forward and making improvements to our bottom line every year. And that's a huge achievement after really a 10-year struggle during the Great Recession to bring things into sync, get our house in order, and then start moving on from there. And we're at that point now where we're moving forward, and you're going to hear about a lot of great things today. Great. All right. Our bond rating is now A+. Thank you. So this past several months, we refinanced over $90 million worth of debt, and I have to tell you that we got some of the lowest bond rates in history. So we're saving about $20 million in debt service over the next 18 years. And that's money that goes back into, this is redevelopment funds, so it goes back to schools, it goes back to county services, it also goes back to city funds, fire, it gets spread around quite a bit. So that $20 million is going to make a difference. And now our fiscal staff is working on refinancing the city debt, which is going to help us out tremendously going forward. It's part of our strategy to really get that fiscal house in order so we can advance all the programs that we want to do for you, for our community. We have an award-winning finance department. Our finance department produces our budget, our capital budget, and our annual financial report, which is just packed with tons of information. And we receive awards every year from the agencies that review those documents. And we get a lot of positive feedback as well as certifications and so forth that we have the best budget presentation that can be put out there to have that transparency. We're living within our means. We added one position this past year. I don't know how many of you know that from the recession to now, we've cut staff by 50%. And we're still providing the level of service that we are. Really says a lot for the staff that are here and the staff that are working right now. And at the same time, we're now seeing our revenues from increased retail sales and increased property values start to come in. So it's a slow but steady increase. And so we're, again, living within our means, at the same time taking whatever savings we have and revenues we have and putting that back into programs for the community. We were named the most business-friendly city in 2015, and that gives us leverage for bringing in new development, and you're going to hear about some of that. Again, it's my job to tee up for the mayor and not reveal any of the secrets. So with that leverage and that credibility, I mean, that helps, but at the same time, we have to deliver on those promises. When the developers come in and they hear about the things that are happening here, and they hear about a business-friendly city, it doesn't help if we get them in the door and then we don't deliver. And so now we've got a staff that can really deliver. We've hired in the past several months about 9 staff to fill vacant positions in economic development, in planning, and in building and safety that really put us on the right footing for going forward so that we can process those projects. We can do the level of analysis that we need to do to bring in those good projects for the community. And our partnerships are paying off. We're going to talk a lot about partnerships. You know, the last time I was here, when Mark and I poked a hole in the cactus curtain, then I talked a lot about partnerships and collaboration. You're going to hear a lot about that from the mayor. We're working on community collaboration, better engagements, bringing that to higher levels. And the city's good at solo issues. We're really good at least I think we're really good at somebody calling in, fix a pothole, fix a street light, fix a sign that's been knocked down. Those things we're really good at, and we do that pretty much solo. It's the more complex, difficult issues like crime, poverty, homelessness, childhood obesity, drugs, that we don't have an easy fix for. The city can't alone fix these complex issues, but the partnerships can. And I think we're going to hear a lot about that and how those partnerships here are coming together with the city as maybe a catalyst or the city providing a structure, whether it's events or working on our crime rate. It's the partnerships that make the difference. The city is just one of the partners. So with that, I'm bringing up your entree. I'd like to introduce Mayor Jim Ledford.
Thank you, Jim Pertee. Well, I even get a fresh mic. That's great. Hey, before we get started, I do want to recognize Jim Pertee, our city manager. He's ultimately the man responsible for an outstanding staff that does great work. But if it didn't work, he'd be the guy we blame, right? So why don't we give him a round of applause for a good job? He has brought a lot of good energy, and he's building a team that we expect to have a pretty good run here, ladies and gentlemen. The economy keeps improving and keeps cooperating. I see bright things for not only the city of Palmdale, but the entire Antelope Valley. But before we get too serious, let me ask a question. How many left-handed people are in the audience? Raise your hand if you're left-handed. Hopefully your left hand. All right, Nardi, you're busted. All right, here's the announcement. August 12th, Ponsalon Square, at Larry Chimboli's statue, we're going to have a left-handers meeting. You're all invited, but only left-handers. Sorry. We don't mean to discriminate, but the fact is we're trying to create some momentum, and I think we're going to credit Chris Spiker for this left-handed thrust, so to speak. So Chris, thank you for that. Show up if you're left-handed. All right, let's talk about some serious stuff. Let's talk about, well, first of all, I want to thank the Hispanic Chamber. Thank you guys for having me here today and giving me the opportunity to roll out the state of the city. We're going to do this several times over the next couple months. We hope to have a tidbit for everybody. Every new venue, we're going to have a new tidbit. So I got a tidbit for today, but I'm not going to tell you yet. You have to wait. Got to listen. Let's talk about public safety. And the whole beautiful thing about City of Palmdale, and again the partnership, is we've produced now our lowest crime stats in more than 2 decades. Well, that's not new news. I told you that last year, right? Well, it was true, and it's true this year. The difference, this first quarter of this year, we had an 18% decrease. 18% on top of that lowest crime rate in decades. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause. That is no accident, and it's really, we're talking about Part 1 crimes for the first quarter of 2016. We have 211 crimes per 10,000 population. You might say, okay, what's that? That's a number. But it's a way to measure, and it's how we measure and compare to other communities. And certainly this is down from 2015, the overall rating was 246. So our trend is moving down, and which is great. And that's a result, again, not just an outstanding law enforcement, outstanding deputies, the best in the world serving us, but it's also our business watch, it's our park watch, it's our neighborhood watch, it's us working together. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. The crime rate in 1996 was 467. 467. Big change. And of course, the phenomenal drop continues. For February, March of 2016, the crime rate was below 200. Great trend. Great trend. Now, how do we compare to other cities that we consider safe? Santa Clarita, they're at 156. We got a goal. West Hollywood is at 264. We're safer in West Hollywood. So, Palmdale Station, we're only 5 in the entire county of Los Angeles to see a drop in crime year to year for the first quarter. The others, Lomita, Avalon, Malibu, Santa Clarita. Pretty good company. Again, thank you. And everybody, our residents, our deputies, everybody working together. So the good news, we're going to have some new crime stats for the second quarter, ladies and gentlemen. And I predict, well, I can't tell you what that's going to be. I've got an insight. It's looking good. We'll leave it go for that right now. But again, it's our partnerships are the key. Community policing, sheriff, staff, residents, our neighborhood homes, their impact in our community, Gabriel's House, its impact on that neighborhood, certainly in the music and arts, our attention to foster youth and how we put together programs for our foster youth. I want to also take a minute and mention Rossi Johnson and Youth Build. Ladies and gentlemen, he has actually helped hundreds of kids reset. They come back saying, hey, maybe dropping out of school wasn't the smartest thing. They get their GED. They give them real work experience. And most important of all, they give them an action plan for life. This resets these kids that may not have had any direction at all are now rowing the boat, so to speak. They're working in a positive direction. I would submit that is a huge impact on our crime rate. When our young people are busy doing things productive, it gets them out of trouble. So, the final thing. Our diverse population is our biggest strength in Palmdale. We're one of the most diverse communities in America. And how we work together, and how we play together, how we operate together, it's the key. And it really is a great study. If somebody were to look at our community for just based on diversity and the challenges we've faced over the last 20 years, it's a pretty darn good story to tell. So I'm really proud of our city of Palmdale. I'm proud of our community engagement. Again, our neighborhood park, business watch, business walks. You know, I walk with the chamber, we do business walks by center. We go door to door, we find out what's up, and we develop a response team. We come back and we fix it. So that's a big deal. Our economic development team also walks, and we kind of target our tenants. But the point is, we're making a pretty good coverage. And I'd say over the last 3 years, we've done the complete east side of Palmdale. We've hit every business on the east side, and we're not marching toward our west. Actually, we're almost at Division Street. So it's been very effective, and it's been kind of on the QT. Unless you're a business person we've visited, we don't really tout that, but it is a big deal, and I think it makes a big difference. Again, I want to go back to our economic development team. We'll hear more about it, and it's going to lead us to our third piece of this puzzle. And let's hear what our Captain Neer has to say about partnerships and engagement in our public safety part.
What I've identified, and so have many others in our community, is the teamwork that we have with our community members and the city of Palmdale. That teamwork includes our patrol deputies, our detectives, our supervisors, our partners within the city of Palmdale, and our community members who have an increased trust in our ability to serve them. When you look at how we solve crimes, we use intelligence-led policing, and that enables us to identify problems in real time and act upon those problems with specific resources in a very strategic manner. We've also partnered with the city of Palmdale over the years, and we've created many programs, including the Partners Against Crime program, that focuses on crime prevention and solutions within our community. For example, we have the neighborhood watch program, as well as a graffiti abatement program. When you combine all of these team members together, it has resulted in a crime reduction and an overall quality of life improvement for the people who reside in the city of Palmdale.
Very good. Captain Neer. Let's move on to our third piece of our community puzzle, so to speak, quality of life. Let's talk about right off the bat volunteers. Volunteerism being the key to success. And the turnout that we get in our city of Palmdale is awesome. We get great turnout by our residents, and I think the best way to focus on that would be through our season of service. Out of that, you've seen events like Martin Luther King Day of Service, where we adopt a block. We have homeless service awareness count, where we go out and we count the homeless in our community to get a better handle on what that means. Spring cleaning at our air park. We have a Hammock Neighborhood Adopt a Block. We have Global Youth Service Day. It involves hundreds, literally hundreds of participants. And the question is, do you want to get involved? Because that's really key to the partnership, is how do we get involved? And here's what Trish Jones, our Community Programs Coordinator, had to say about all this.
We're looking for ways to engage people in service days such as this, which is not only a great opportunity for us to address community issues like illegal dumping or graffiti, but it's a great way to get out and meet your neighbors. It's a great way to work hand in hand. And probably for me, the most important part of that is it's also a great way for us to teach our youth to give back to their community. It's nothing better than working side by side with the adults and the youth and us teaching that legacy to the next generation.
I think that's an important fact. Good job, Trish. Trish, why don't you stand up just so we can identify who you are. You want to volunteer, make a difference in Palmdale? See Trish. She'll set you up.
Volunteers here filming you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the key really is engagement. How do you engage in your community? Are we giving back to the community we live in? The key here is if you see something, you need to say something. It really is important. We have an app that you can also utilize. It's called My Waste app. It's really 9-4 Pride. It's an opportunity to report graffiti, illegal dumping, stray shopping carts, traffic signals, maintenance issues, whatever it is in your neighborhood or anywhere you might see on the way to work. All that's important. So if you see something, say something. Get the My Waste app. Put it on your phone, and it'll help you stay connected to City Hall, make a difference. Now, let's also talk about some amenities that we've received just recently. McAdam Pool has reopened, ladies and gentlemen, and that has gone under a complete renovation. It is back, and it is in full effect. Now, a lot of projects, we have our partnerships, such as coming soon, our Corson Arts Colony. This is a veteran preferred housing. It's going to have an amphitheater. It's going to have an art gallery. It's also going to rebuild the pool at Corson Park. Brand new pool, $4 million. That's what this Corson Arts Colony is going to bring to our community, as well as a vet focus, veteran preferred housing focus. And it's going to be going up right over by City Hall. So here's an opportunity to see another phase of that. But I think what's most important is Corson Park pool getting back online. And I think our inner city neighborhood really needs that amenity to make a difference. So it's good to hear. And I think we're going to give Mike Miller a little credit for that. Where are you, Mike Miller? Why don't you stand up so we can identify you. Good job. We're also going to be doing some other veteran preferred housing. It's called Habitat for Heroes. This will be 56 single family homes we're going to be developing for veterans. So we've got a program through the colony to, I think, reach out to homeless veterans to get them back acclimated, back up to speed. It'll set the stage for home ownership that's also going to come as part of this focus on our veterans. Also, as part of our partnership, we developed an approach for Massari Park. Through community input, we have already done the lighting out at Massari Park. We're getting ready to install cameras at Massari Park. Now, this is all based on community input, And we think it's a way to kind of keep an eye on what's going on out there all the time. So better lighting and cameras, we think, are going to make the big difference. Also, what's going to follow is McAdam Park is going to get the same treatment, as will Corson Park. So that's something to look forward to, and smile when you're at those parks, because you're going to be on TV. But I think it's going to help us reduce vandalism, and I think it's going to help us maintain maybe a little better tone in some of these parks. And I think we need that approach. So these will really be kind of test areas. We'll see how it works. Also a partnership. Our new animal shelter. How many people have been to the new animal shelter? It's awesome. It's beautiful. It's a benchmark for the County of Los Angeles. I think this is the first one in like 45 years, but they got it right. And this is an opportunity to develop more partnerships. Certainly, this is the county's approach to animal control, but really what's missing is the community part. We as a community have an opportunity now to partner and help maybe divert animals that we don't want to see go to a shelter. We'll find a place to adopt them. We have that kind of synergy. We also have asked Jim Pertee to set up a time at our council meeting so we can introduce a dog and a cat, maybe a rabbit, what other critter might be over there. But as a community, I think it's an opportunity to reset, how do we approach animals in our community? It is part of the issue. Another partnership is going to emerge out of Yellen Park. We're going to be opening a dog park as part of the first phase of Yellen Park. That's at 47th and S. It'll also be the second park that we will have completely watered by recycled water. The first being McAdams. So Yellen is coming on with recycled water. Let's talk a little bit about Drytown. It's kind of a partnership. It's just doing bang-up business. They have got 2 to 3 times better attendance than last year at Drytown Water Park, and that makes a big difference on the bottom line. But it's really a full amenity. You show up there, there's lots of people taking advantage, and I guess being so darn hot really doesn't hurt, right? That's our option. How about Legacy Commons? We have new and ongoing events at Legacy Commons, and just recently, I think the board has got some renewed energy because they really are getting a lot of engagement, lots of projects, lots of things to do. Just this last year, we've had things like Juneteenth celebration, where Fred Thompson and I danced. That was ugly. But the spirit was right. Anyway, we've had art exhibits there, several. We've had certainly exercise classes, computer classes, and et cetera, et cetera. There's lots going on at our Legacy Commons. So again, if that's something that interests you, check it out. I think you'll find there's lots going on there for you to do. I also want to talk about our library, another partnership. We partner with LSSI. And I got to tell you, Thomas, where's Thomas? Stand up, Thomas, so we know who you are. He runs our library. Now, Thomas is an interesting cat, we'll call him. He's got all kinds of stuff going on at this library, and he's really brought a lot of interest and fun back into literacy, so to speak, because that's really the cornerstone. But he's got things like BMX demonstrations going on at a library. Are you kidding me? Conflict resolution classes for teens, services for the homeless. He's got free notary going on. He's always got some kind of new energy, and I think that's really attractive. People like energy and passion, and they're going to follow it. So Thomas, you're leading. Thank you. Good job. Here's a little fun fact. What makes Palmdale unique in the Antelope Valley? And the fun fact is the city spends $3 million annually for our library and our Legacy Commons. That is unique because no other city pays for that service. But guess what? If we didn't pay for that service, we would not have that service in our city. Now, that's not a new dynamic. We made this decision 35 years ago when we created that library. The senior center, the same thing. These are priorities that we have established as the city of Palmdale. But it takes $3 million annually. And people would say, Jim, you should have more events. Ladies and gentlemen, if I had $3 million, I could have lots of events. But as a community, I think we've made the right choice in regards to library service and literacy, and certainly attention to our senior citizens. And Legacy Commons, you won't find a better senior center anywhere, is what's going on there. So great work, great priority, but it also gives you a little explanation of, event-wise, what's up? even though it's not going to hold us back, because partnerships are going to take us again to the new level. So we'll talk a little bit about events. Music in our park at Palmdale Square, we're doing that again this year. We've had, what, 2? Getting ready to have another one. And we have Tesserae is going to be playing this Thursday, the 4th. And we have 4 more through September concerts at Palmdale Square. So come on out and check it out. It's relaxed, it's cool, get your blanket out and enjoy. Our National Night Out, we've rescheduled that for Tuesday, August 9th. It's going to be at Dominic Massari Park. It's going to be a huge turnout, ladies and gentlemen. You want to see community engagement, show up at Dominic Massari Park on Thursday. Oh no, this will be on August 9th, a Tuesday night. And you'll see some great stuff going on there. We're going to have music, rock climbing, dunk tank, and we're going to also say thank you to our first responders, which seem to be in the forefront lately. Our summer concerts at the amphitheater. This Saturday, we're going to have Get Jazzed at the amphitheater. It's going to be a great show. And if you like jazz, come on out. Bring a picnic. No, you can't bring a picnic. You can bring a picnic to the movies, but you can't bring it to the concerts. I'm confused. But the point is, there's food. We're also going to have, I think you have a taste of some of our local breweries are going to be there if you have an interest in that. Commodores, September 10th will be playing. It's going to have a great turnout. Great turnout. Leanne Rhymes is going to come back. You know, the fire kind of took her out. The smoke was a little thick. And she decided that we're going to reschedule that event for September 25th. And what we're going to do for that event is give us an opportunity as a community to say thank you to our first responders. We're going to allow all uniformed first responders and a guest free entry to the concert. Now, the next issue is something that's very interesting to me. It's movies at the Amp. Now, this Friday we're going to have the Avengers. So you haven't seen the Avengers, show up for that movie. It's going to be fabulous. And then we're going to have Minions will be next Friday. And then it's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, these movies are like drive-in movies. I remember as a kid going to drive-in movies. This kind of reminds me of the same thing because we end up with 4,000 to 5,000 people show up for a movie at our amphitheater. They bring a blanket and a picnic, and they sit back. The entire family has a great time. Kids are bouncing off the wall. And once the movie starts, they are out. So you actually get to watch the movie. So anyway, it's good stuff, and it really is a phenomenon, and I don't think it's necessarily unique to Palmdale, but it may be unique because of the amphitheater. It's such a beautiful venue, and it really is set up, I think, for a community to relax and just sit back and enjoy a good movie. So come on out, again, this Minions this Friday. You don't want to miss that. Let's talk about softball tournaments. They bring a lot of revenue to our community. The hotels and restaurants really benefit from these tournaments. They produce about $4 million a year in revenue to the city, which is a good thing. And so we want to promote more of that, and we want to recognize, again, those are part of our partnership. We also have developed a magazine that we're now in collaboration to produce a magazine that's in every hotel room that now advertises what's going on in Palmdale. It also advertises businesses that may want to advertise in this magazine. So, as chamber members, you might want to check this out. This will be for visitors coming into the community. And don't confuse this with our City of Palmdale publication that we produce 3 times a year. Goes to every home in our city. Also an opportunity for your business to advertise in that magazine. So it's a great value and it's a great way to connect with our residents. So that's out there. Also, I want to announce a new event this year that we're going to be developing. It's called a Kaleidoscope Music and Arts Festival. It's going to be on October 8th. It's going to be at the amphitheater. And we're going to feature music with Jacob Nelson and the Tone Wranglers is going to play. We're going to have the LA cast of Beatlemania we're going to be playing, and more. We're going to have artisans, vendor booths, displays and wares, and the art of the brew. We're going to have our local breweries, Transplants and Lucky Luke's will be there to display what they've got. Maybe more. We're going to bring more from the Antelope Valley. John's saying he thinks so. That's a good thing. Maybe we'll get all 4. That'll be great. We're also going to have a local artist expo. So that is something to look forward to, something new in a tough economy with half the staff. We're still able to produce more, and more is coming, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't got into all the partnerships. Well, matter of fact, I think I will right now. Let's talk about what are we doing in partnerships. Let's talk about the Kiwanis Duck Race, September 2nd at Dry Town. Great partnerships. AV Vets for Veterans Car Show is coming to Palmdale Square on September 18th. Sister City Visitation, September 21st. Sister City is something I want to focus a little bit on, ladies and gentlemen. We had a great dance fundraiser for Sister City. And Rod was dancing like a crazy man. He was great, he was all over the floor. But we had a fabulous night, and it was an opportunity to raise money to help support our Sister City organization. It's only been around for like 45 years. Anyway, we're trying to bring financial stability to that organization because we're getting ready to have a visitation. We want to make sure that we take care of our guests. But Sister City is just starting. We're getting ready to have a health fair at Legacy Commons. So there's another event. We're planning on doing some concerts in our city. So more partnerships and opportunities for people to enjoy our time together. All right, that's my Sister City plug. Also, September 16th and 17th, we have Grace Fest. We'll be at the AMP. We'll be making strides against cancer. That'll be a walk on October 15th at the AMP. Heart Walk, November 5th at the AMP. The AMP is a pretty popular place. Vietnam Memorial Wall, November. That'll be Veterans Day, I'm sure, like it is every year. That'll again be at the amphitheater. We're going to have the American Classic Christmas. This will be the second year that we're going to be pulling this off. This will be at Palmdale Square. And last year was a great way to help kids in need. And I think the people did a great first showing. Santa Claus is sitting in the room right now. I'll give you guys one guess who that is.
Right there.
Yeah, he's close. Also, our Palmdale Chamber Christmas Parade. We're going to be moving that to a new location this year. And actually, the game plan for that is to move it all around the city. This year, we're going to be at Avenue P8 and 20th Street West. So really from Highland High School, and we'll end at the mall. So we're going to come right through a neighborhood near you, and it'll give you an opportunity to maybe look over your wall and check out our parade, or better yet, be part of it. We're also going to have a color run. We'll return in January. I'm sure that'll be at the amphitheater as well as the last. All the walks seem to do well there, so it's a good place. And the best indicator of all the success, these events, are with our residents. And let's have a little video and talk a little, hear about what they think.
I think it's awesome. I really do, especially with the heat. It's not that bad out here. They have it in the evening. They have access to the bathrooms, and I like all the people. The people are generally nice, and it's chill, so it's really cool.
I think it's a wonderful event to come to, especially with the family, and it's nice.
I just want to tell you that Palmdale is a great place to live. We have so many concerts, so many things going on. You know, I'm so happy that I'm here. I've been here for the last, 12, 13 years, and we come to every concert. Every city should have like Palmdale does.
And we just love being able to come out here to see the talent and doing the meet and greets. Thank you so much, City of Palmdale, for doing this.
Well, there you go. A couple good, happy customers. Just a slice of our community, though. We've got a great community, and it's good to hear from our residents. Let's talk about a serious note about elections. Elections are coming this November. And so new format, new districts, and it's a change in certainly this fall's election. Instead of having at-large elections this November, the next election for mayor and city council will be held on election day, which is November 8th, 2016. Now on election day, only the mayor, my seat, and my challenger seats, will be at large, meaning everybody can vote for the mayor. But the council seats will be elected by districts only. And so now you're going to have 4 districts in our city, and registered voters will only be able to vote for the candidate within their district. Unlike previous elections where you could choose from any of the candidates, you will only be able to vote for one council person from your district. So it's going to be a little different, so we need to pay attention. And to see which district you live in, you only have to go to our website, www.cityofpalmdale.org, and type in the numbers of your street address, and it'll show you what district you live in. So it'll tell you where to go and as far as who you can support or run, for that matter. These districts are going to remain in effect until 2021, and when then they'll be revisited to see if there's been any significant demographic changes, because as our population changes and our registration changes, that may be an opportunity to reassess our districts at that time. But that's the game plan for this November, so I'm sure it'll be interesting, but I think it's going to be just fine. Voters are pretty smart, and I think they get it, so all will turn out well. Let's go to the fourth piece of our puzzle, education. We have some major investments coming in education in Palmdale, specifically East Palmdale. Let's start off with the Antelope Valley College Palmdale Center. There's a $15 million investment. We're going to improve the shopping center at 25th Street and Palmdale Boulevard, and it's going to create a lot of business opportunities because ultimately that's going to be a campus that will hold 7,000 people, and out of that it's going to support, I think, a lot of businesses in and around that facility, 25th Street and Palmdale Boulevard. My own Palmdale Aerospace Academy at 35th Street East and Palmdale Boulevard, we're building a $50 million school. That is a partnership with the city. Obviously, we're in partnership with the school district, Palmdale School District, City of Palmdale, the Aero Institute, and that is the Palmdale Aerospace Academy. We hope to be done by next April, and we will move, so it'll be good. The Guidance Charter School is going to invest $25 million in a brand new campus at 40th Street and Avenue R. So this is going to create a little economic engine in Central and East Palmdale. New businesses, more jobs will come as a result of that. You combine that with our Avenue S widening, which is underway right now, and our Yellen Park investment, we have over $100 million being invested in East Palmdale as we speak. So that's a great, great little stimulus, I think, for our east side of our Palmdale. Let's talk about Palmdale Airport, the terminal lease. We obviously control the terminal, but out of that we're going to create an aircraft fabrication and assembly program. This is a workforce development program. We're in partnership with the Antelope Valley College and local businesses such as Northrop Grumman. We're going to train the workforce for jobs now and in the future. Seems that just lately, the Joint Strike Fighter, for instance, under production right now, they need several hundred workers right now. We haven't even talked about the new bomber. New bomber will bring an equal, if not bigger number of needs in engineering and touch labor. This program at the terminal is there to train that workforce. So it's a great partnership, and we hope to, this will actually double what the college is doing already. They already have a class at the Lancaster campus. This will double that up and give us something closer to Palmdale at the terminal. So something to look forward to now and in the future. And the whole game plan is we want to get as many people back to work as we can, right? That'll do wonders for our economy. Let's talk about the fifth piece, transportation and infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the midst of 3 transit-oriented development studies that are taking place in Palmdale right now. And this speaks to 2 high-speed rail proposals that are coming to Palmdale. They're going to converge in Palmdale. And so we are developing our train station. Well, it's not just 1, it's 2. You have a train station study with California High-Speed Rail. We also have a station study that's going to be taking place with Express West. This is the train from Las Vegas will be coming to Palmdale to access the Los Angeles market. So we have 2 systems. So one study is the platform. What's the platform look like? The second study will be the area around the platform, meaning mixed use and housing. How does that all fit? And how does it fit into our downtown? How does it fit in a way that brings synergy and energy and investment? The third area is something that is quite exciting. It's what we call the Avenue Q experience. And this is a lifestyle boulevard we are developing in Palmdale. And this is part of the station grant, but it really is mixed use, condominiums. It's the downtown of the future. And just imagine the freeway and Posada West, the Avenue Q, will be that boulevard. And what is it going to be? It's going to be housing for young professionals in aerospace that say, Jim, we love Palmdale, but we don't want to live there because you don't have the housing that we want. We want lifestyle housing with a buzz. We want mixed use, a place to eat and drink close to where I live. We're going to create that on Avenue Q. We're going to create it from the ground up. And the TOD study that we're doing right now is to develop that concept for our city. Oh, it's not just for aerospace engineers. It's also going to be for medical professionals and doctors. Imagine as the oasis emerges and doctors come up for 2 or 3 days, oh, they'll stay in hotels for a while, but ultimately they're going to want their own condominium, their own luxury apartment. That's the game plan, is to create this in our own city of Palmdale. It'll be really right in front of the hospital. So you'll hear more about this as it develops. So we can talk about a little bit of the scope, what this high-speed stuff means. It means it may come, which means we need to prepare as a city. I don't want them to just plop down what they want for us. I want us to determine what we want and what this will look like in our downtown. And so that's what these studies are designed to do. So let's do a little analysis. The High Desert Corridor, that's the corridor from Palmdale to Victorville. That study right now is about 1.5 years, will be done. It'll have a route adopted and an environmental document cleared. That project is now ready for a P3, a private sector investment to come in and build it. And I believe the first thing we'll see built is a train to Vegas, because it's coming to Victorville. And from there, they want to connect to Palmdale, ultimately connect to the Los Angeles market. So we are right in the path of a private sector investment. And so that's great, and that's why that station has to be designed and placed in our downtown. The other is the California high-speed rail. You have 2 alignments we need to pay attention to. One is the corridor from Palmdale to Bakersfield. In about 1.5 years, you will have an approved environmental document and a route adopted. Oh, it's not a P3, but darn it, it should be a P3. We should allow the private sector to build that piece. And that's going to be our area that we're going to lobby the California high-speed rail for that. The second corridor is the Palmdale to Burbank. Again, in 1.5 years, we will have an environmental document approved and a route approved, meaning the private sector could build that darn thing too. I submit we need a tunnel to Burbank. I want to get to Burbank in 15 minutes. Oh, yeah, it's real, ladies and gentlemen. I am on that train. Downtown LA in 30 minutes. Now, we don't have to wait for the state to do this. Once we get a route alignment and environmental document, the private sector can build this thing. And I say we should push for that. Let them operate it as a toll. I'll pay to ride the train. I'll pay to drive in a tunnel if I can get to Burbank in 15 minutes. We need another connector to the Antelope Valley, ladies and gentlemen. Our economic development future depends on it. We cannot compete without it. So there's a way to do it. And so we're focusing on all these studies. We're developing the plan. We invite you to participate so you can have your 2 cents. Now, let's talk about our airport. You're saying, what about the darn airport? Well, the airport is back in Palmdale's hands. After 35 years, it's back in our hands. So we control that airport. But what's the next step? The next steps for us is our partnership with the contractors in the airports. Paramount. Most important thing we can do. I would not promote an airport if it jeopardized that relationship. That economic engine cannot go anywhere but right here. It needs to stay. So what's coming out of that? We know that next steps would be the lease and joint use agreement with the airports. That's the common document that's going to say we're on the same page and we're going to move in a certain direction together. I think we're there. Consensus-wise, we're there. We have not finished the document, but that is our next step. But we do have consensus with the airports. We do have consensus with our contractors. We believe in this plan. So a very important next step. So when that happens, what's maybe the probable need will be cargo. We will probably have to develop a cargo platform in and around Plant 42 for the B-21 bomber. Most of that program is going to come in via an airplane. The sub-assembly should come in via an airplane, and we can do final assembly here. So cargo becomes an opportunity for us, a next step. Another next step was we need to help our aerospace companies, the contractors, be able to fly their workforce if they're non-defense related. Right now they can fly into Plant 42 on a defense related program. We need to be able to fly them in here if it's a commercial program. So we can go out and get a commercial contract. So we make sure every square footage of Plant 42 is being utilized to its fullest. So that is a next step as well. Those are 3 big steps for an airport to make it happen. But when will an airport come? The airport's going to come when we dry up the demand in Burbank, primarily. Burbank's not going to grow anymore. It's 14 gates. They're going to rebuild the 14 gates, but it's not going to get any bigger. It's going to hit a certain level, and you're going to see action coming our way. I believe that's going to be the telltale time for our airport. Oh, high-speed rail wouldn't hurt it. Imagine 30 minutes out of downtown LA, a light rail from our station to the airport could be a stimulus. Just possible. So these are things you might want to look for. And as this thing unfolds, you'll see some of these things are going to come to be. I believe all of it will come to be because I believe our plan is pretty sound. So that's enough for airport. Let's go back to our Avenue West widening. I'm sure a lot of you who live on the east side, you've seen that roadway. It looks beautiful. It's not paved, but the sidewalks are kind of almost there. The curbs certainly are almost there. And the great separated trail will be there for our kids and us that like to ride bikes. But it's going to be a beautiful addition to the east side. It's going to create a lot of energy and better access. Let's also talk about some other capital projects like our Cap Seal program. You're going to see it in residential neighborhoods where we come back and resurface our roads. You're going to see the major public project outside of the neighborhood will be Rancho Vista, 30th to 50th Street. And the CIP scheduled maintenance is a 10-year plan, ladies and gentlemen. We review it every year. You have an opportunity to provide input. And quite frankly, the guy that we look to administer that is Mike Michelle. Where's Mike Michelle? Yeah, he stepped out for a minute, but I wanted to recognize him just so we know who to blame. Come on in, Mike Michelle, there he is. So Mike, you're the guy that's responsible for our roads, resurfacing, and anyway, the CIP program, again, that we all get to participate in. So this is all scheduled maintenance. Rancho Vista will come on August 29th. Let's also talk a little bit about water conservation. We talked about reclaimed water at Yellen Park behind Walmart on 47th and S. But we're also going to be bringing reclaimed water all the way out to Massari Park. And that's our next project with our recycled water authority that we've created, our partnership with the Palmdale Water District. The idea is to develop a pipeline from McAdams Park out to Dominic Massari. And our game plan really is to try to connect every school along the way. If we can get recycled water to water our turf, what a better, efficient, most efficient way to use this resource that we're paying for right now. So here's an opportunity. We're also going to be looking to do landscaping around neighborhoods. So along the way, we're going to connect the pipes. And this is just the beginning of a citywide network that we're going to be developing for recycled water. So let's go now to our sixth piece, manufacturing and jobs. I got a big announcement to make. And this is on our city council agenda tomorrow night. There is a purchasing agreement for the city to sell land in the Trade and Commerce specific plan area to Land Development Associates, who have signed a letter of intent to build a brand new conference center and hotel in Palmdale. So here it comes. This is going to be located next to the Embassy Suites. It's going to be a 10,000 square foot expandable conference center. We think 10,000 square feet is the market today. That's probably 700 to 800 sit down for dinner. But this will be expandable. We'll be able to grow this as the economy shows there's appetite, and we bring more events to this conference center. It also will bring a new hotel, minimum of 100 rooms will be in that hotel. And so here's another hotel. You saw yesterday's paper. They said 2 hotels are here, more coming. Well, here's one of them right now. Oh, and here's the other one. Also on our council agenda, we have a purchasing agreement also with Land Development Associates for property in our auto mall, specific plan area. This is on Carriage Way and Avenue Q near 5th Street West. Now, we don't have a real definition on this site, but the concepts we're talking about is a hotel, possible dealership points. We're talking some dealers that maybe will go in that location as well. The other is a mixed use, fronting Avenue Q. We talked about the Q experience being mixed use. This is what this project could bring. A mixed use frontage on Q with 4 or 5 stories of market rate housing. I think it could be the kickoff for the Q. But the point is, it's all a TOD tie-in. It's all designed to enhance and bring traffic to the auto mall. And again, a conference center and well, actually 2 more hotels at least. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not the end of these hotels. I don't know what the heck has gotten into Palmdale in hotels, but we seem to be the center of the hotel universe right now, because they're all coming. But we're filling them up. And we're filling it up with aerospace during the week, and these tournaments on the weekends are giving these hotels are running almost 100% occupancy. Well, that's going to bring more, right? In business, we get that. So anyway, good stuff. So let's go. Let's talk a little bit about the big news again. Northrop Grumman, the bomber. I also want to let off Lockheed. You know, their LMH-1. They have a hybrid airship. Have anybody seen this airship? It's pretty cool. They've flown it out of Plant 42 before. They've gotten some real interest, international interest. The British, of all people, have got like an option on these things, like 10 to 12 of them they're interested in. Now that could bring a great boost to our workforce, besides the Joint Strike Fighter and the B-21 bomber and whatever else can come along. We have the best workforce in aerospace right here. We build it, and I tell you what, it's proud for me to be part of this whole thing. NASA is also going to be bringing their X-planes. They're going to be doing a whole new series of X-planes to try to further the aviation or aeronautical engineering envelope. So that's all going to spell good things for Plant 42 and Edwards. Other big news, CarMax. You see them. They're under construction now. They're building a showroom. They're going to bring a refurbishment center. They're going to be hiring 70 people in the next 6 months, and then 40 more right after that. And so that's a great thing. And we're working through with our partners again, South Valley Workforce Center. They're doing all the clearance for that type of work. If you know somebody that's interested in working in that fact of the industry, it wouldn't necessarily be just for CarMax. It'll be every auto dealer over there is going to need more people, more technicians, more salespeople, more refurbishing type workforce. So that's more to come. Also, bank printing silently, quietly opened up this last year, and they're also hiring through the Workforce Center. So we're doing some good things with the Workforce Center, as well as the Aerospace Training Center I talked about earlier. It's all through the Workforce Center. And that's going to help you, your business. You need to hire somebody, you need to let the Workforce Center do it. They will cut through all the applications. They'll bring you the cream of the crop and let you pick out of well, they can actually get literally hundreds, if not thousands of people to apply for the right job. So let them do it for you, because the best part of it, it's free. Free. All right, other good news. Element Hotel, we see that under construction behind Best Buy. Also, the other hotel is Home 2. This is a Hilton extended stay. It's going over by Holiday Inn. And it's interesting how Home 2 found Palmdale. You might remember a couple years ago we had a snowstorm and it shut down the freeway. Everybody had to stay in Palmdale for the night. Well, and the owners of Home 2 were one of those. They stayed and they just found this place to be amazing. They go, well, here's an opportunity to invest in a family-owned business and build a hotel, and that's exactly what they're doing. So Home 2 is really kind of a local success story of a freeway shut down in the snow. So good things can come. Also a pretty exciting development, we have a pet hotel coming to Palmdale. Yeah, everybody that has a dog is going to love that. Not only might be a good place to take your dog if they're not into fireworks, because it's going to be completely indoors, and they're going to take care of your pets while you go on vacation. And so that's a great new addition. I got to hand it to my staff, Jim Pertee, especially, he heard that they needed some changes to our general plan. We didn't wait around for an application for that. He just unleashed the staff, go fix that, get that thing teed up and ready to go. So here it comes. Let's talk a little bit about the power plant summit. Again, they're looking at 2017 to groundbreak on that power plant. So it's going to bring more stable power to the Antelope Valley. And all the renewables we do, you still need stable, traditional power to back it up. And that's going to be the facts for probably the next 20, 30 years. But we're moving in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. So this plant will do a good job of taking care of that gap. The Oasis Wellness Center, what I call the medical mecca of the Antelope Valley. There's a new term for Jim Skeen. They've got this first phase is 17 acres. The game plan is to bring the biggest names in medicine in Southern California to Palmdale, to create a destination for people that, well, right now we go down there to go for these name brands that we trust. We're going to bring them here. And I talked earlier about doctors that may be 2 or 3 days in Palmdale. That's what I'm talking about. These doctors. So they're going to need a place to live, but they're also going to have a great place to do a practice. And that's going to be the Oasis. It's going to be at Palmdale Boulevard and 10th Street West, right in front of our hospital. It's just 17 acres first phase. But guess what? That's probably 150 acres in total opportunity for medical and medical use and support industry. So that's why I call it the medical Mecca, because it will become the Mecca. And other businesses are looking to be part of this as well. So it's an attraction thing. Once you start sparking it with the anchor, then other support industry and businesses will come. A lot of you in this room are going to look for that opportunity as well. So that's something to look forward to. Something else to look forward to. Business Appreciation Breakfast, August 24th. We want to invite you, each and every one of you, show up. Let us tell you thank you for being in business in our city. We appreciate you, you make a difference, and we want to make sure we are in tune to everything you need. If there's an issue, we need to know about it so we can fix it. Also, let's talk a little bit about our economic development and planning. They are expanding. We talked about Jim Pertee and building this world-class organization to handle what we know is coming. The beginning is starting already, but more is coming, ladies and gentlemen, so put on your seatbelt. So they're setting up our processing to be able to handle all that. We're also reaching out to businesses. I got to tell you, economic development, Carrie Blackburn heads up our economic development department, but she now has a staff of 4 total. She used to be the Lone Ranger. But now she's got 3 additional individuals working out of that office that are fluent in Spanish. Meaning we're going to go directly engage the Spanish-speaking business community in Palmdale, directly. We're going to find out what's up with them, how we can help them do better, and how we can help them expand. So this is a focus that it's not new to our city, but I think the focus coming out of economic development is going to be more defined, and I think it's going to be more responsive. And that's really the game plan. So look out for that. So now that brings us to our 7th piece. You probably think, how many pieces do you have, Jim? We only got 8. We're on number 7. Let's talk a little bit about retail. And this is a great picture because it reflects the Antelope Valley. When we have a ribbon cutting, we have chambers from all walks show up together, and we get to celebrate a new business coming in to make an investment in our community. So I think that that's certainly a great thing. But let's talk a little bit about Rancho Vista Gateway. It's complete. You know, the Aldi's open, and Join the Habit, and Yogurtland, and Krispy Kreme, and Chick-fil-A, and all that. Well, that's not necessarily new news, but it's good to hear they're done, and it's a beautiful center. Let's talk about our breweries, Transplants and Lucky Luke's. Now, these 2 businesses are doing pretty darn good business, and they're hitting the market. That is a young engineer market. If you show up out there, not exclusively, but quite a bit, young engineers hanging out there. A lot of them are millennials. You've heard of one? You might want to go see what they look like. You'll see them there. Now the point here is we are focusing on creating lifestyle places and events for the next generation of our workers. We've talked about it in housing, we've talked about it in work opportunities. Well, here's some of the fun stuff, and they love these craft breweries. They just really are making a connection there, so it's good stuff. And you're going to see more and more in businesses in our city. Let's talk a little bit about the Miracle Mile on 47th Street East. The new businesses going out there. Starbucks. John?
Yoshinoya.
There you go. That's why we pay him the big bucks. We also have Baskin Robbins is new out there. Berry Star, First Class Dental. That's an insider joke. Let's go to the mall. Antelope Valley Mall. This is our regional shopping destination. The new elements are Blaze Pizza, Menchie's, Subway. They're opening at the entrance to the mall. What's coming? Rock and Jump Trampoline Park is coming. So dodgeball and a trampoline. And we also have some other restaurants. One is going to take the old Greenhouse Cafe. We can't make an announcement. John's going, don't do it. Can't do it. I'll save it for one of my next chamber pitches. But what we're seeing at the mall is just awesome. Their percentage of occupancy has got to be in the mid-90s, 92% occupancy at our mall. That is a great stat. Good job, mall. Let's talk about Rancho Vista. Of course, the neighborhood market's not new, and Starbucks is not new, but what is new? It's Pop-Up Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza is new. And so that's something you might want to check out if you live out in that part of town. Of course, we want to always remain aware of Smart and Final. They're extra. This is a new concept for Smart and Final. We had the first new concept was that right over here by by Best Buy. Thank you. So here's the next level. This is a full-scale supermarket. So if you haven't checked them out, check them out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. 10th Street West, coming soon. Hobby Lobby, not new news. We heard about it last year. What is new, they've got their tenant base set up. They're with Planet Fitness, and they're going to be starting construction here pretty darn soon. The other is Dunkin' Donuts. Home Goods is looking in our city. We thought they were going with Hobby Lobby. They're not. And what they're looking at, we've heard they're over at Sports Chalet looking at that building, which would be a great tenant. But it's a big place. They're going to need a second tenant that could go in there as well. So we're not sure who that'll be, but the point is, Home Goods wants to be in Palmdale, so get ready, they will be here. Also, Cafe Rio just opened. If you haven't tried them, check them out. Chronic Taco. They're not new, but they moved to a new location, and they do a fabulous business, great food. And of course, our auto mall. On our agenda tomorrow night, we also have another property acquisition. AV Nissan's going to buy a couple parcels in our auto mall. So we're starting to see some activity and some action, not only in the auto mall, but outside of our auto mall. So our goal is to create a lot more energy, and we want to see a lot more activity in and around those auto malls. So anyway, let's see what Tricia Granger has to say about Palmdale. Here's a little video.
You know, another year of just growth and additions, and you know, we're lucky in the Antelope Valley and in Palmdale. You know, we've consistently added new stores and new national retailers that the community asks for, so we're just looking forward to that continuing in 2016.
Amazing, because we get a lot of interaction on our social media when we talk about some of the new stuff that comes here, and the best feedback that I get and that I love is I don't have to drive down below anymore.
Right.
And you guys are doing a great job of that.
Thank you. You know what? I think just citywide we are. I really think, you know, the Antelope Valley is growing, and the city of Palmdale is really bringing in some great new businesses. You know, across the way we have Five Guys and The Habit and Chick-fil-A and Krispy Kreme and, you know, Aldi and all those guys that are really joining into our city lineup. So I think, you know, we're all doing it. We're all making it happen together so folks can stay up here. We don't need to drive anywhere.
That's Trish at her finest. All right, well, that brings us to our last piece, our community. The piece that holds it all together is you, ladies and gentlemen, each and every one of you. Our future is bright in Palmdale. We have new jobs, retail, the Avenue Q experience. We're improving our transportation, our infrastructure. But to make Palmdale truly great, it's going to take all of us working together. Volunteer. Volunteer. A little something on the side isn't going to hurt anybody. If you could make just a little donation, a little pay it forward, it can make a big difference. Be the eyes and ears in our public safety arena. You guys make the huge difference. If you can help our sheriff do better at what they do, we'll drop this crime rate to under 200. That ought to be our community goal, is under 200. I think that's achievable. We're almost there. We're at 211. Come on. A little nudge will do it. Again, if you see something, say something. We don't need to be silent. If something's going on, make the effort to make the call. It's easy, and we can help connect you. If you don't know what those numbers are, we can get you there. Also, here's something very important, especially in a new economy. Talk positively about your city. I'm not asking you to make stuff up. I don't want you to be disingenuous. You don't have to, because there's plenty of good stuff to talk about. Let's do not be gloom and doom. Nothing kills investment as a bummer. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be around a bummer. Let's be positive, because we have every reason to be positive. We have lots of good signs. Everywhere you want to look, there's something positive. So, be positive about your city. Now, we got a lot going for us. We got over 300 days of sunshine. We got quality of housing. We got booming retail. More is coming. Great parks. Crime is dropping. Great. There are lots of events, lots of great restaurants. And to continue to move forward and put all the pieces together, we must. These are the areas we must focus on. We must insist on transparency. We must support our great diversity. We must respect one another. Very important. We also must be inclusive at every opportunity. We want to support our local business. We want to be Palmdale-centric. And for each and every one of you here today, you are an ambassador for our city. Think about that, the responsibility that comes with being an ambassador. You can make a big difference. So we've had a lot of great news today. We've got a lot to be proud of, and we have a great city. Together we can make it even better, ladies and gentlemen. I sure appreciate you being here today with me, and thank you for being a great audience.